Peace be with you. Today I wanted to make a short video about evil friendship. As you know, we are social creatures and therefore we need friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we have to make sure that these friends are good people. God says in the Quran in chapter 43 verse 67, friends on that day will be enemies to each other except for the righteous. On that day, close friends will be enemies to one another except for the ones who are mindful of God. On that day, even bosom friends will become one another's enemies unless they have done their duty. So what does it mean? It means that we have to choose our friends wisely. We have to choose good friends. We have to, elect friends that are mindful of God. And it's not easy these days, but it's not impossible, right? People who remind you of God, people who are upon the straight path, people who want what's good for you in this life and the next. People who observe their prayers, people who do good, give charity, people who are honest, people who don't cheat in business, people who are, who are always on the up and up, not people who do the opposite, right? And this is so important because we all social creatures, we all need friends, right? It's we all need to socialize with people that are like us, because at the end of the day, you'll never find two friends that are they're always very much alike. And unfortunately, when somebody gets an evil friend as his companion, even if that person is not all that bad, it's only a matter of time before this evil of that friend of his infect him. It's only a matter of time before that evil infects him, rather. So this is why we always have to choose our friends wisely. There's a narration from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, where it said that a man is on the religion of his best friend. So choose your friends wisely. We have to choose our friends wisely. We all have to make decisions in our lives that are going to affect, the rest of our lives. So we might as well be wise about it and not just being stupid, right? Don't just, fall for whatever it is about this world that might seem appealing to you at a certain point at a certain time, at a certain point in your life. You're going to feel like you want to belong. So you try new things. You try to be, you try to get out of your comfort zone and do things that are just not right. But because as people, sometimes we feel like we need to gain approval from, society or perhaps from somebody else. There'd be at school, in the workplace. It's always the same thing. We try to impress somebody, and unfortunately, we tend to forget about God, who is the one who is in charge of everything and the one who we should be careful in regards to our duty to him. Evil friends are like poison, right? Let me tell you straight away. And there's also another verse from the Quran. I don't want to misquote it, but basically the followers will disassociate from the followees, and the followees will do the same with their followers. So these friends of yours that are evil, that are doing all these evil deeds, you might feel like they're your friends, but they're not your friends. They're not. They are devils. They are shayateen. They are satans. How many people have been misled because of their friends? How many people started smoking cigarettes because of their friends? How many people started drinking because of their friends? How many people started disrespecting their parents because of their evil friends that they're around with, right? So how many people fell into all these sins and disgusting things because of the corrupted people that are all around them all day, right? So this is so important for us to be very careful about who we let in our lives. You won't find a prostitute befriending a nun. You won't find, a man of God, not a man of God, It doesn't sound very right. But let's say a man who's dutiful to God, you won't find him with a drug dealer or a porn star or whatever it is, whatever the case might be. You would never find that, because as people, if somebody is righteous, they will make it, they will make it their duty to be with friends around them so that they can learn from them, right? Always try to be with somebody better than you so that you can learn from him or her, right? So don't fall for these, evil people, because they're not your friends. How many of these friends would be willing to go to prison for their friend, right? None, right? If you all put them to the test, they will never make time. They will never do time for their friend. What kind of a friendship is this? It's not friendship. And this is prison. How about hell? Do you really think these people, these evil scums, would be willing to go to hell for their friends? It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen, because these friends, they have no loyalty. They have no loyalty. They're not good people. They're evil people. Have friends who are good and who are dutiful of God, and have friends who speak good words, right? How many people use bad words? Not because, they learn these words from their household, but because of the friends that they're around with all the time who speak rubbish, right? How come so many people use the F word? I mean, you know, idle times. It doesn't make sense. That's a bad word, and it's bad to use it, but every 5 seconds, at least 5 times in one sentence, you use this word. Of course, that's because of the friends that they're hanging out with. So that's why we have to have good friends. Good friendship is so important in this world, right? So have good friends, and if you have evil friends, what do? You have to, you have to stop it right here, right? The ties of friendship will be severed on the day of judgment, but it will be too late for them. So you might as well do it now, you know. Don't take their calls. Block them. And don't go back to these people. Stay away from them. They're poison. They're Satans, as I said. They're shayateen. They're devils. They're Satans. And they're the friends of one another. So stay away from these people. These people should not be sat with. And nobody should sit with these individuals. They're taking you away from God, taking you away from, all that is good. And the funny thing is, some of them, they might claim to be, they might claim that they believe in God, right? It's like they acknowledge the existence of Allah and so on and so forth. That's garbage. That's garbage, because if they acknowledge the existence of God, that doesn't make them Muslims, number one. Number two, God wants you to submit to Him, to obey Him. So it's not something that you're going to say with your mouth, because some of them, they might even claim to be Muslims, right? If you ask them, they say, yeah, we're Muslims, but, it's fine. We just go drink at the bar, we get wasted, we do this, we do all kinds of crazy things, right? But we're Muslims. Like heck you are. Who you're fooling, right? These people, they're not the praying type. They're not the praying type. They would never put their heads on the ground. That's humiliation for them. They look at these people, they say these people are stupid, right? Talking about the believers, just like what God says in the Quran chapter 2. These people, they say, are we going to believe? Do you want us to believe like the fools believe? This is what goes in their minds, right? You would never find these people putting so much as putting their foregrounds, their foreheads on the ground. Never would you find that. You would never find them putting their faces on the ground. They're just like they're not submitting to God at all, right? It's garbage. And if they really submitted to God, then they would be good, right? They would, They would be nice people. They would try to follow God, you know. Being a Muslim doesn't mean, a lot of people think that being Muslim means just acknowledging the existence of God, acknowledging the Prophet, peace be upon him. That's not what it is. You think the idol worshippers and the corrupters, you think they didn't know that the prophets were true? Of course they did. And that's the thing, if you don't know that the prophets are true, if you didn't have the message being delivered to you, then this is different. Of course, you're not blameworthy for not knowing, right? But if you say you believe and yet you do not act upon it, then this is stupid, right? So these people, either they don't believe really, or they're not very, very smart, right? So this is very important for us to stay away from these people and their evil influence, as it will corrupt us, corrupt the rest of society alongside with them. So be with good friends alike, and don't fall for these people. They're poison, they're garbage, and they're trying to take you away from Allah, take you away from God, right? How many people fall into evil sins because of their friends that they're around with, as I mentioned, start smoking cigarettes, start drinking alcohol. Their friends, they advise them, in evil. They ask them, they tell them to go, ask that girl out on a date, go, I seek refuge in Allah. But they say things like, fornicate with these women. Astaghfirullah. I seek forgiveness in Allah. I seek forgiveness in Allah. I seek forgiveness in Allah. This is what these people are saying. And you take them as friends, as advisors? Come on now. Don't take these devils as friends. They're evil, right? How many of these friends, recommended their friends to check out some filthy pornographic website? Filthy things, right? And it's illegal. You should never watch such. You should never browse through these filthy websites because they're illegal. Not only are they illegal by law, but by Allah. Allah made that illegal. This is disgusting. This is, indecency, right? Displays of indecency. How on earth can a believer, of course, I'm not trying to bring anybody down, but a believer would not just look at that filth and enjoy it. Never. This is filthy. This is ew. This is disgusting, right? It should make our skins crawl. How many of these friends, are sinning together, right? Or competing in sins. How many of these people started stealing because of their friends that they're around with? Right? You think people just wake up one day and start to do, things like that? No. No. It's their friends. We all have a nature, a pure nature of submission to God and obeying God. We all created upon the natural inclination, disposition. But then it gets corrupted because of who you're around with, right? So this is an advice to heed and to take heed to. This is something we should take heed about. We should heed this advice from Allah, from God, and do good. And stay away from these evil people. So, don't follow these evil people. This evil person who keeps telling you to sin, he's the shaitan. He's the Satan. He's the Satan. He's the devil. He just wants you to commit sin after sin so that they're basically trying to lead their followers astray. And they all want to go to hell together. Surely they will all go to hell together. But that could be avoided, right? We're not blind sheep, right? We all have free will. Nobody is forced to do anything. You don't have to sin because of the people you're around with. We have to wake up and see people for who they really are. We have to expose these devils and stay away from them. May Allah bless you all and keep you on the straight path. May Allah keep us all on the straight path and away from the evil people. And God bless you. Peace be with you. And I'll see you very soon for another video. Take care, people. Peace be with you.